Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Gateshead International Stadium. It's FA Trophy action here today. The quarterfinals, Gateshead versus Farsley Celtic, and the winners will find themselves in the semi-final draw on Monday. So, well, it is going to be an absolutely fantastic game here. Really looking forward to bringing you the game this afternoon. I am joined by Mark Carruthers. He will be joining me momentarily. Hello there, can you hear us? The mic was off. Are we on? How far did I get into it there? I went right through everything. Can anyone let me know where the sound went off? I'll start again. But with me as well. Welcome to Gateshead International Stadium. It's a beautiful day here. A little bit cold. The pitch looks fantastic. The ground staff have done absolutely magnificent things here at Gateshead Stadium this past week to get the game on. The pitch was covered in snow and it was all taken off yesterday. And, well, people can hear us now. Apologies for that. Press mute by mistake. Right, so we are into it. I'll go through the Gateshead team again. Those are the people that didn't hear me. James Montgomery in goal, Kenton Richardson, Mike Williamson, Louis Story, Ethan Pye, Carl Magney, and Robbie Tinkler. It's all defenders there. Camille Conter, Aaron Martin is on as well. Adam Campbell and Dan Ward. Campbell is the captain today. On the bench, it's slim pickings for outfield players. We have two goalkeepers and two outfield players in Ollie Thompson and Ben Franklin. The two goalkeepers, of course, Philip Marshall and Rob Elliott. The injuries and cup ties have seen Gateshead really down to the bare bones here this afternoon. So it's all to play for. Gateshead will be having a couple of their defenders in midfield. So I would expect the same type of formation as normal. Mark Carruthers is joining me now. Mark, just mentioning there, 6 defenders in the starting lineup. Not that they're all going to be playing in defence.
No, I think we're probably looking at Magney and Tinkler playing in midfield. We should say both players have played in midfield earlier in their careers, and both players have vastly experienced as well. So there's no worries about that. It will also, as we were just saying before we came on, probably going to free up Common Content to play further forward and try and influence the game, further up the park. Adam Campbell captain today with Greg Ollie out as well, which is an interesting one. And Aaron Martin, massive chance for Aaron. I don't think he's quite hit his stride yet here at Gateshead since what was quite a high-profile move during the summer was brought in to try and replace the 2 lads that left from Notts County, but it hasn't quite happened for him. But this is his chance, to start for him. It's a good chance to make an impact and give Mike Williamson something to think about. So it's an interesting game. Farsley are struggling in the league. I think there's no qualms about saying that. They are sat at the wrong end of the National League North. But they have some threats. Frank Mulhern's been around and done it for a few years at that level. They've got experience like Bobby Johnson and a few other players. Dave Size, of course, has played in the North East with Darlington and Tom Allen, who was here for a spell, wasn't he?
Yes, he had 2 spells. Two spells, yeah.
Yep. So, it's one Gateshead will be favourites to win, but they also have to be at it today, otherwise they'll come out on the wrong end of a shot.
Certainly will. They'll have to be at their best, and also as well, hopefully not many injuries as well, because you'll see, just mentioned before you joined us on the mic, that the outfield options are pretty sparse on the bench at the moment. So
sparse is one way to put it, Dave. I mean, you look at it, it's two goalkeepers and 2 young lads who, undoubtedly have talent. Mike and Ian Watson clearly believe in them, or they wouldn't be on the bench. And they may well get a chance to do. They may well have to. Fingers crossed, with all due respect to the young lads. Fingers crossed they don't.
Yeah.
But they may well end up having to come on and have a say in what's going on.
Well, it's an opportunity for them to make names for themselves. We've got people messaging, and you can message us if you're listening. If you're a Farsley fan as well, please do, and share the stream as well. Let people know they're on. We're the only commentary in town today, so whether you like us or not, you're stuck with us if you want to listen to the game. Charlotte has messaged us. Normally be there in person, but we're away this weekend. We'll be listening intently. Well, yeah, it's going to be one of those games. It's an exciting game. Obviously, you don't want to look too far ahead, but Mark, if you get through this game and into the Hearts, you're 90 minutes away from Wembley potentially. Yeah,
I mean, whilst that is a fact, you really can't look beyond what's going to happen over the next 90 minutes. But it's getting to that stage where you can almost see the arch on the horizon. And Gateshead have only been there once in the history for that playoff final. It'd be nice to think they could go back and have the support of the region again and try and win a trophy and do what a certain side wearing black and white on the other side of the time couldn't do 2 weeks ago.
Well, we'll say we don't want to get too carried away, but that's what this competition's all about. It's about the dream of getting there for clubs at this level and below. It's the non-league FA Cup for all intents and purposes. We'll get the word out.
It's easy for you.
It is, I'll quickly go through the Farsley lineup before we get going. Max Dernley in goal is Lewis Turner, Lewis Butteroyd, Bobby Johnson, Captain Andy Butler, and Adam Clayton, Theo Williams, Chris Atkinson, Carlton Ubazuno, and Frank Mulhern and Cian Scales make up the starting lineup. On the bench, they have Dave Sayers, Luke Parkin, Harry Jessup, Tom Allen, of course, former Gateshead player, Nathaniel Walness, and Tom Morgan. And just before you came on as well, Mark, I was mentioning about the pitch. It actually looks better than it has in recent terms. You wouldn't think there had been snow on that.
Yeah, unbelievable effort from people at the International Stadium to get this done. It looks fantastic. It looks slick. I don't know what it's like to walk on because we haven't had a chance to get down there. But it's, it looks playable, which is more than I think it probably would have been this time yesterday.
Definitely. I mean, not that the pitch has ever looked bad this season, but you say with what has happened in recent days, to have it looking as plush as it does and looking fantastic right across the pitch. Hats off to Batty, the groundsman here at Gateshead International Stadium. He has done us absolutely proud. And we are waiting for the teams to come out shortly. There is people starting to fill the stand. I think there's about 100 Farsley fans have made the trip up, maybe a little bit more. It's hard to say from our position here, but the Tyne and Wear stand is filling up to our right-hand side. So hopefully we can have 1,000+ crowd here, if not more. That would be fantastic. I'd say hopefully cheering on the lads. And you can do that as well by sending your messages here on the Heed Army podcast as the Gateshead flags have their display on behind us at the back of the stand. It really has added something to the atmosphere at Gateshead Stadium. And you really have to come down and see it for yourself. And if Gateshead do get through, or if they don't, but the next league games are just as important, and Gateshead could really do with your support. You can go on Gateshead social media to find links for future games to buy tickets. So please do that. We'd love you to be here. We appreciate that you're listening. Maybe you're listening from abroad, maybe you're ill, but the best place to be is here in the stand supporting the lads. And hopefully we'll see you soon here at Gateshead International Stadium. Mark, obviously it's a competition that way you can get to Wembley. It's a big thing. Let's not rule out our visitors. They've got here. Yes, the league campaign isn't great, but they've got themselves to this stage of the competition also.
And you look who they beat to get to this stage. They are more than capable of springing a shock. This is why Gateshead have to be at it today. They have to be at the best. They can't afford any complacency to slide in here. It has to be a proper performance, a full-on performance, and a one that gets the win that everyone wants.
It certainly does. If you're joining us for the first time, please subscribe to our channel so you can get notifications and hit the bell for when we have the normal podcast, which is on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Mark's been on it a number of times. Obviously, he's a ratings booster. We keep him for special occasions.
One of the ladies.
Yes, and we'll say we'd love you to be part of that as we preview next weekend's game and talk about this game as well. Who knows, we might even be talking about a cup draw, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. There's a lot of football to be played, as we always say here, and you won't miss a kick or a goal here on the Heed Army podcast. We always say as well, thank you for joining us. We really do appreciate it. It's an honour and a privilege to always bring these games to fans listening in who can't make it to the game. We don't take it as a given. It's a privilege to be here doing this for you. So please do send in your messages, and when there's a break in play, we'll read them out. Or if you want to talk about any parts that are happening during the game, send them in and we will read them out. Well, we're waiting for the teams to come out. There is some photographers down there on the pitch side, and hopefully we'll be seeing the lads come out very, very soon. Well, in the background, we can hear the Gateshead fans, and I'm just looking over my shoulder. The flag display looks absolutely amazing up there. It seems to be getting bigger and better every game, and they've got the big Super Heed Army flag up there as well. And big well done to Gateshead flags. Of course, they've took on inspiration from war flags, and what an inspiration to take. They put on magnificent displays. Gateshead were a smaller club, smaller fan base, but they're really trying to make it a carnival atmosphere here at Gateshead International Stadium on a match day. You will have seen on Time T's news on Wednesday night, they even had them on the news report as well. So it was great to see them getting a little bit of exposure there. And you will have seen myself and Mark Carruthers as well sitting in the stand, looking cool.
Cold is the only thing we were looking. In fact, absolutely freezing it would be. And there wasn't really much to talk about.
Are you getting the benefit of the heat underneath here or not?
I am a little bit.
A little bit. There we go. We've got a little heater underneath.
It's nowhere near as cold, by the way.
Oh no. But it might be later on.
Any chance to get the game on here?
Yeah. So now here come the teams, led out by the referee and the linesman. It's Gateshead versus Farsley Celtic FA Trophy quarter-final action. You're here with the Heed Army podcast, and we will be bringing you all of the action. This is our Gateshead lineup this afternoon. James Montgomery in goal, Kenton Richardson, player manager Mike Williamson, Louis Story, Ethan Pye, Carl Magnier, Robbie Tinkler, Camille Conter, captain today Adam Campbell, Dan Ward and Aaron Martin. On the bench, Philip Marshall, Rob Elliott, Ben Franklin and Ollie Thompson. And this is a type of game where heroes and villains are set up, Mark. Will we see some heroes in a grey shirt today?
Well, I mean, it's set up for some players that haven't maybe had as much game time as they wanted this season to make an impact. And, I look in particular at the man who'll be leading the line, and Aaron Martin. He really hasn't done what I thought he would do so far this season. I don't mean that to be critical, obviously, because injuries have kind of hampered his introduction to life at Gateshead, but he'll want to make an impact today. He'll want to get his first goal. He'll want to really give Mike Williamson something to think about going forwards, because Marcus Denanga is going to come back in. He's going to be available again next week. There's going to be other strikers who are in the squad will be coming back to fitness soon. So he's got to make an impact today. This is his big chance.
It certainly is. Just looking at our visitors, it's an absolute joy to have a team with numbers from 1 to 11. It makes the commentator's life a lot easier. In goal is Max Delaney. We've got Lewis Turner, Lewis Buttroyd, Bobby Johnson, Captain Andy Butler, Adam Clayton, Theo Williams, Chris Atkinson, Carlton Obazunu, and Frank Mulhern, who was sporting a very big headband there. He must have been cut open in a previous game. Kean Scales. On the bench is David Sayers, Luke Parkin, Harry Jessup, Tom Allen, Nathaniel Walness, and it is Tom Morgan. And they're in all blue, Farsley Celtic, not their home colours of green and white. Gateshead in their regular home strip of grey shirt, black shorts, white socks. And Adam Campbell doing the captain's duty today. He's up there with Andy Butler doing the coin toss, and it looks as if we are going to be shooting towards the River Tyne end here. It's a bright day. It's overcast, but it's a nice bright day for football. Not too much wind. The pitch looks good. Let's hope the game is.
I think Ryan's saying these the same colours they wore last year.
Is it? Yeah, I think it might be, yeah. When they came up here in the league fixture last season. There's Campbell. Stands over the ball, ready to get us underway here. And Carl Magny and Robbie Tinkler lining up in midfield today. So if you hear me mention their names, they are a little bit higher up the pitch as Martin wins the header. And he's down on the ground at the moment. That's not what Gateshead want to see at the moment in the opening stages. There is Aaron Martin down on the ground. And he's just on all fours at the moment. It didn't seem like he was close enough to be caught there. I hope he hasn't. I'm presuming it's a head injury, but he isn't really moving that well. Yeah, he's getting his head looked at there.
Early start for Ian Watson as well. Chris Bell must be still in the dressing room. I think he's just come out there.
Yeah.
So assistant manager is now physio.
Well, Ian Watson using his medical knowledge out there at the moment. I wonder if he's... Oh, well, we're having a nightmare. We're crackling in our ears at the moment. I don't know if that's coming through on the feed. If anyone could let us know. There. It helps if you move your phone away from the... We figured it out. It's only took a season. Aaron Martin is still receiving treatment at the moment.
Just looking at the setup with Gateshead, as we spoke about, it does look as if Magnay and Tinkler are sort of playing as holding midfielders. Mike Williamson and Louis Story at the heart of the defence, and Ethan Pye towards what he would class, or I guess we would class as a more traditional left-back position for him.
Well, two players that, you would say if there was any defenders in the Gateshead lineup that could be comfortable on the ball to be in midfield, they'd be the two players that are, solid in possession. So they're the ones that's being called upon as Tinkler nods the ball forward. Ward was offside.
I'm fairly certain when Tinks signed originally on loan from Middlesbrough, he was a midfielder.
Yeah, I think he did play in midfield, and then eventually went out to right wing back and right back. As Mulhern goes up for the header with the bandage, poked away by Pye, put right back up towards the defence by the Farsley midfield, nodded forward again by Atkinson, headed away by Gateshead again. Foul, Martin giveaway there.
No need. Play was under pressure.
It's about 5 yards inside the Gateshead half. Although it went a little bit further back from where the foul actually happened. But now we're going to use this to, much like the visitors on Tuesday night, Halifax are going to get this ball up towards the big men on the edge of the box.
Really high line from Gateshead.
Up it goes. Out comes Montgomery, safe hands. Stops on the edge of his box and quickly distributes it to Ward. And Ward was just beaten to the ball. And there's a long shot from distance. Oh, and it's hit the roof of the net. And Bobby Johnson wasn't too far away. He had Montgomery panicking.
It's a brilliant effort, a really good effort. And if he just gets a little bit less swerve on it, I think he's probably putting Farsley ahead here. Dan Ward there just caught on his heels a bit. It's a good throw from Montgomery, but Ward's just waited for the ball to come to him, and it just hasn't happened.
Well, goal kick to Gateshead. It's taken short. Montgomery's got the ball at his feet now. It was ruled to him by Story. And he's got time just to strut out the box and pass it across to Williamson. Back to Montgomery, who returns to reclaim the number 1 spot for the FA Trophy games. Williamson now plays it down the right-hand side. Inside to Tinkler. Tinkler puts it over the top for the run of Martin to get there. He didn't quite get there. Atkinson didn't get the ball. Conter gets it to Campbell. Now out to the side. Now can Kenton Richardson playing right back to Day. Lays it back to Campbell. Magnay on the inside. People are screaming for him to shoot, and he does. Oh, and it's just past the post. There was a stretching leg from Martin, but he couldn't guide it in. And we've seen Magnay shoot from 45 yards. He even did it for Hartlepool as well.
It was a Barrow, I think.
Yeah,
unbelievable strike.
He's done it here and he's done it there, so we know he's got that in his arsenal. Got that in his back pocket if he needs it. 5 minutes gone, 0-0 if you all just joined us here at Gateshead International Stadium. Gateshead versus Farsley Celtic in the FA Trophy quarter-finals. Well, Story calmly plays it back to Montgomery, who was under pressure.
Dave, can I just make a point?
Yep.
The first 5 minutes of this game have already been more interesting than Tuesday night.
They certainly have. For a second, I thought you were going to correct us on something. I was worried there.
That'll come, don't worry.
Throw into Gateshead on the far side. About 10 yards in the Farsley Celtic half. Throw taken back to Williamson.
Kenton Richardson is just limping a little bit at right back.
It's not what we want to see. There's Pye.
It's not what he'll want to see either, given he's linking up with England CC.
Yes, so big congratulations to Kenton Richardson. Ball up to Martin. Martin couldn't hold it up. Appeals for a foul there. Didn't quite see what it was, unless it was a shout for someone to pick up the second ball from Magny there. But there was a shout. Ball goes out for a throw in a very similar position to where Gateshead had one before. Farsley's left-hand side, about 10 yards inside their own half.
Good atmosphere behind us.
It is, yeah. It's and filled up nicely, the stand as well. I was a little bit worried about 20 minutes before kick-off. And that's a Mulhern. Did he foul? No. Referee says let it go out, and it's went out for a Gateshead throw, level with the corner of the box.
You can tell it's not as cold as Tuesday because we're talking more.
Yeah. Well, Gateshead played across the defence to Story in the box, who clears the ball up towards Aaron Martin. Martin wins the header but couldn't direct it towards a teammate. Campbell tries to close down, and now Butler can play the ball forward. There was a slip by Mulhern, and Williamson can say that back to Montgomery.
Early signs are that the pitch is actually well here. Just
ball's rolling all right, isn't it? It was a slick pitch on
understatement
on Tuesday night, but at the moment you would say it's like a normal day, wouldn't you, really, for a football pitch? As the ball played up to Campbell, right hand side, plays it inside to Magny, who carries the ball forward himself, plays it to Tinkler, back to Campbell. Campbell now sees Ward in space, left hand side. Now Pye. Camille Conter was shown from where Pye's went inside. Campbell's centre of the pitch, plays it out to Tinkler, puts a scooping ball over to Ward. Can Ward get a finish? Gets a shot off and didn't get where he wanted to put it. I think it just might have bounced up a little bit when he went for the shot, if I'm being kind. But it really, in hindsight, should have went across the box.
He's got to go across goal for two reasons. One, firstly, he's got Adam Campbell and Aaron Martin running in. The second one is that if he can force a keeper to make a save, he's probably not saving it. He parries it out to one of those lads running in. So, yeah, disappointing, that one. Should have probably done a little bit better.
Durnley was an all-maroon. His goal kick has been headed back up by Gateshead defence, but it comes all the way through. Montgomery quick off his line to see the run of the ball come through. Theo Williams was trying to get in between the two defenders, but Montgomery reading it very well. The ball's with Mike Williamson now. Up to Campbell. Campbell played it off a player. Williams gets it back, but it bounces off Campbell, and Gateshead in possession again as Montgomery just trots across to the right-hand side of his box to get the ball under control. Williamson. Not much pressure coming from the forward line and midfield of Farsley at the moment. They're not committing to try and push Gateshead, as now the ball forward to Conter, who is on the left-hand side, plays it inside to Ward. Ward's touch takes him forward, as I thought it might have been pulled back there for the late foul on Conter, but still in play. Gateshead, Story has to take a second attempt to control it.
Crossfield ball on.
There we go. The ball sprayed across to Campbell, but the defender just gets in front, Turner, and heads it down the line. Sorry, it isn't Turner. That would be Buttroyd on the far side. As it comes off Buttroyd, unfortunately, there. From doing well to not doing well, all in the space of a couple of seconds. Throw into Gateshead just inside their own half. We're into the 10th minute, and Kenton Richardson is down. Not what we want to see. You did notice it before.
Tell you something, one of the young lads is coming on. Ollie Thompson's coming on.
Ollie Thompson. So you would imagine there might be a little reshuffle here. I think Ward might drop into midfield, and Magny or Tinkler might go out to right back. And you might put Ollie Thompson up front. So,
either that or Magny will go right back.
Yeah. So there is options there. It looks like he is done. He is stripped to come on. Ollie Thompson scored a hat-trick against Blythe Spartans under 19s a few weeks ago. So we're going to see him come on by the looks of it. As Kenton Richardson looks dejected. You can see by the body language he's done.
I think Tinkler's going to right back.
Does look that way, doesn't it? Yeah, because Magny's coming across to here. So it's a like for like. We know Robbie Tinkler is a right back. That's predominantly his position. So there's no issues there. But it's what happens a little bit higher up the pitch. And as I said, Ward drops down. Ollie Thompson goes up top.
I actually think that you could look at something. The benefit here could be that Tinkler and Campbell have a very good link up on the right hand side, and having that back in play again might be a massive positive.
Ollie Thompson making his debut, and really chuffed for the lad. He's worked hard. This is his opportunity. What can he do? We'll find out.
Moving the pitch, number 5, Kenton Richardson, being replaced by number 39, making his debut on the pitch, Ollie Thompson.
Looks like Thompson's just going to stay left hand side, doesn't it?
Yeah. So not much change to the actual formation, but personnel change in and around. As Martin drops deep to get the ball, plays it forward to Ward. Ward down the right hand side, and that was good play to get across there by the captain. Butler sees it out for a throw, and the wind just picks up here at Gateshead Stadium.
So, I know it's been a difficult season to Gateshead on the pitch, but there are sort of mitigating circumstances with that when you look at the injury. It's the injuries, I should say, have just been horrendous throughout the season.
And it's always the worry with a small squad and a small budget to navigate that. But
I think at one point earlier in the season, they had about 34 players signed on, but the vast majority were injured.
Yeah.
Or kids.
So Bruin taking down the side there. Mulhern goes up for it. Story clears it up to Campbell. Laced off. Ward puts the ball across now for Ollie Thompson. And it's just headed calmly back by Turner. And, good positional sense for what we've seen so far from Thompson. He's putting the pressure in there. Let's hope it continues the way it started.
He'll want that first touch in.
Yeah.
He'll want that in.
Kenton Richardson comes round. He's walking a little bit gingerly, but hopefully it's more precaution than anything else. There's a lot of important league games coming up. But Gateshead, with only one recognised outfield player available for the rest of the game now on the bench. Right. Well, ball goes out for a corner. A goal kick. The throw went out there. Conter got in front of his player. Well, 30 joined us. Gateshead haven't already made a change due to injury. Ollie Thompson makes his debut. Under 19 striker is on, and Gateshead in possession.
That's a big chance for a minute. It's a big chance to
make
a name for himself. And
and Ethan Pye is hobbling now. Oh. You couldn't make it up. You're right there. Greg Ollie just walks past us. So does Harrison Clark. Well, Gateshead. Ball played off Conter's face there. Lobbed up towards the edge of the box, and Theo Robinson, where Williams wins the header, but it's just going to trickle back to the corner of the box where Montgomery picks it up. Pye's moving all right now, if anyone's worried. Farsley fans in good voice at the moment. As now Story receives the ball. Pye and Conter show for him. Conter puts it all the way back to Montgomery, who's about 10-15 yards outside his box, plays it across to Williamson, now back across the Story. Pye shows on the left, gets the ball, plays it to Thompson, gets his first touch. Now Pye has to cut inside with the ball. Magny is the man there. Magny plays it forward. Lovely touch from Ward. Can he get a shot off? He can into a field of blue shirts, but now Gateshead with the ball. Conter, corner of the box, left-hand side, just rolls the ball backwards to Magny, and now Thompson turns, plays it to Pye. Good stuff, but Pye's ball inside wasn't the greatest, and now Mulhern tries to chase it down, and calm as you like, Story gets it across to Mike Williamson. And, he never looks panicked, Story, does he?
He doesn't. He's done very well there because he got himself into a bit of an awkward position where the ball over the top fits better. I think Mulhern's in, but he's done ridiculously calm. I keep saying this all the time about Louis Story, but I think people shouldn't underestimate how well he's done to step up to the level that he's playing at now.
Story now gives it across to Pye, just inside the Farsley half. Ward, Martin had dropped deep. Conter puts it across to Williamson in the centre circle, out to Tinkler on the right-hand side. He's got Campbell in front of him, who he uses. Campbell now crosses the ball into the box. Martin and Thompson were lurking. Nodded down by Williamson to contact turning. Ward's going to put it out to Campbell, right-hand side. Takes it down, tries to, well, he's down to the dead ball end. Can he pull it across? He's still going. Now he gets it across, and Butler just puts it behind. Good work from Campbell. He kept going. Thought the defender might have put it out there, but it's a corner nonetheless. As Dan Ward goes across to take this in. Bright red boots.
Yeah, that's what I mean about that right-hand side. It's always dangerous for Gateshead. You've got, no matter who Adam Campbell plays in front of, whether it's Richardson, whether it's Tinkler, there's always a good link up between them. So I think that's something Gateshead could expose.
Well, Ward is going to take this one. There's movement around the box. In it comes, it goes short, and nobody took the run to get to the ball. Theo Williams brings it down, and now Farsley on the attack. It's 2-on-1 as Gateshead clamber to get back. It's played inside to Theo Williams. Theo Williams takes a shot. Oh, and it hits the heel of Montgomery. I don't think he knew much about it, and Gateshead let off there.
A little bit naive from Gateshead there in that attack. Farsley played the counter-attack brilliantly. The passing, the weight of the passing and the movement was perfect. But it's all come from a poor set piece. And remember I said at the start, Gateshead have got to be at it. They've got to be, positive.
A massive let off. I mean, Montgomery was
as well.
Well, he seemed to be planted, but it still hit his leg. It's a save. Goes down as a save.
He's done what he had to.
Yeah.
He stayed big. He stayed up. Fair play to Adam Campbell for getting back as well and putting some pressure.
Well, 17 minutes gone, about to go into the 18th minute. Still nil if you are just joining us. Thompson receives the ball, plays down the line to Pye. Pye just has time to slow down as far as the manoeuvre to get back into position for Gateshead to bring the ball forward. Tinkler back to Mike Williamson. It's two banks of four in front of them, even though the attackers are inside their own half at the moment. For Farsley, as the ball played over the top, Martin's going to try and chase this down. It's just going to bounce away, and out it goes for a goal kick.
Yeah, I think looking at where Martin's playing, obviously as a 9, he just want a little bit more movement from him at the moment. He's quite static, sort of trying to plant himself between the Farsley defenders, centre backs. At the minute, you maybe want him to pull out wide and try and create a bit of space for the sort of the men out wide to cut in and try and give the defence something else.
Mulhern Magny in an aerial battle, falls to blue shirts as now Mike Williamson comes across to take the ball away from Theo Robinson. The ball comes nearly across to Ollie Thompson on the right-hand side, but Farsley, they're going to look for the run of Turner. The ball comes across, but Theo Williamson there was absolutely flying across. And Montgomery does well to smother the ball. Distribute it quickly, though, to Williamson. Now Tinkler. Magny shows in midfield. Keeps the ball moving forward as Martin holds it up. Tinkler nearly dispossessed. The ball rolls to Williamson. Back to Tinkler. Tinkler now dinks the ball up towards Ward. Just goes over his head and the defenders into the goalkeeper's hands. Well, we are about to go into the 20th minute, still 0-0. And cagey game a little bit. Gateshead moving the ball well still. Farsley biding their time and waiting to get the right opportunity. As Tinkler receives the ball, just holds it up, plays it back to Williamson. Williamson plays it to Campbell. Campbell's touch to Ward first time, but the ball just skipped away from Butler. Plays it back to his keeper, and his keeper
that's a
had to put it out. It was a
horrendous back play.
Come back to him at 100 miles an hour when he was wrong-footed. And gets him a throw level with the corner of the box on the far side. As there is little mounds of snow that was took off the pitch yesterday. It's just melting away on the track.
Robbie Tinkler long throw instead of Greg Ollie.
It certainly is, but what can Robbie Tinkler deliver here? Mike Williamson's up there to try and win a header. Up it comes towards Williamson, nods it on. It's going to fall to Thompson, who's beaten by Turner. Now brought down by Story. Can Conter get a shot off? Conter just dispossessed, and it's been cleared only as far as Magny, who nods it down to Tinkler. Still inside the Farsley half. Campbell plays it back to Tinkler, just near the halfway line. Gets a build from the back with Williamson. Pye, he's got Ollie Thompson if he needs him down the line, but gives it back to Story. Williamson, now on the right-hand side of the pitch, plays it up to Campbell, who's hugging the touchline. Plays it inside to Martin. Martin's little flick there to Tinkler. Tinkler's going to get it near the corner flag. Can he whip it in? Pulls it back to Campbell on the edge of the box. Now Ward puts it forward. I don't know, just the runner wasn't there, but Gates are going to pick up the loose ball. Magny puts it into the middle. Oh, and Martin got the header off, but there was no power on it, and it trickles past. The keeper just watched that go out of play.
Yeah, I don't think the balls... The ball in didn't have enough pace on it for
he would have to have a neck like a giraffe to get some power on that.
Yeah, for Martin to get enough power on it. Just wasn't going to happen, was it?
But trying to create chances. Sternley takes the goal kick. Williamson wins the header. Turner puts it over the top. There's nobody there apart from Tinkler, who just calmly nods it to Montgomery.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say Gateshead have been marginally the better side, but, Farsley have had the best chance of the game, which, let's be honest, it probably should be one off.
Oh, and that's a poor ball to Ward, but it goes out for a throw. Sorry, Tinkler. Tinkler got very similar boots. Crossfield ball onto Pye. Here it comes. And it's a nearly a hospital ball there. As Pye had to run back to get it, because it's the Story. Now Williamson. Right hand side of the pitch.
Yeah, just need a bit more movement in the Farsley half here, Gateshead.
Farsley happy just to let Gateshead sit in possession and try and break them down. As Campbell has it right hand side, halfway inside the half, plays it forward. Didn't get through to Martin. Cleared by Farsley as Tinkler does well to win the ball back. Gives it back to Story. Pye, who can bring the ball forward himself just towards the halfway line and puts it across the other side of the pitch to Williamson. Now Tinkler plays the ball over the top. Ward's there. Can he control it? Just too much on it. But nice movement.
Yeah, need more of that as well. The idea is right. It's a good ball in behind, just a little bit too much on it. But that's better. There is something happening in the final third. It's a late run to try and get him behind the defence. And as I say, just a little bit too much on the pass.
Well, if only Gateshead were able to use some of the talent they've got in the stand that is unfortunately cup-tied. Obviously, Pani, Denanga, Whelan, Francis, all unavailable for today's game. Haven't played in the competition for other teams before arriving at Gateshead. As Tinkler puts the ball up towards Thompson, the ball goes through. Turner lets it go all the way through to Durnley. Farsley fans in good voice at the moment. Gateshead just a little bit quiet in the stands behind us. Mulhern gets the header, but Story's there to clear it away, and Gateshead sitting a little bit deep as Campbell does fantastic to come back and just interrupt the play, and Gateshead back in possession. Now Montgomery's going to clear this ball all the way up towards
need some support.
Martin. Butler wins the header. It's going to come down in midfield. Campbell managed to get it to Martin. Ball just not sitting up for Gateshead at the moment. Foul given just inside the Gateshead half. Tinkler brought down Ubazinu. Ubazunu. There we go. Ubazunu. Was that how do you say it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
See, I get it right sometimes, everybody.
However, if anyone from Farsley doesn't want to correct it,
please correct us. As the ball's nodded across here, and Gateshead have to clear the lines. Wasn't there a blue shirt there to try and challenge for it, really? But now comes the shot from said player, and it passed the post. It had Montgomery flying through the air, and be interesting to see on a replay, if we had one, how close that was.
I think Montgomery's probably just about got that covered. It wasn't exactly the most, panic-stricken dive.
Yeah.
So I think he knows it's going wide. It's probably just making sure.
Well, if anyone's seen the beginning of Buck Rogers back in the day, that's what he looked like going through the air.
It's quite a random comparison.
That's what you get with our commentary. As the ball's now with Tinkler, right-hand side of the pitch.
It's movement again. It's static.
Midfield is just lacking that movement, isn't it, at the moment? Pye under pressure.
But you need someone dropping in and giving an option here, because at the moment it's just Farsley just sitting in. It's easy for them.
Conter's very high at the moment. There's just a big gap, isn't there? But now the ball comes across to Ollie Thompson, gets the ball on left-hand side. Runs at Turner, cuts in with it. Still going. Plays it into Martin. Lovely stuff from Gator. Can Ward get the shot off over the bar? Oh, and it all started with the good movement from Ollie Thompson. The nice little movement into Martin, then Ward.
Exactly what was needed there. It's brilliant from Thompson, you know. And I know sometimes when young lads make the dairies, you can tend to go over the top, but he's done very well there. The weight of pass into Martin was ideal. It's a good layoff, and Dan Ward, I think he just has hit the target there, and I think he scored.
It was a subtle touch from Martin as well, just to give it back to Ward. Durnley takes his goal kick. Williamson beats Mulhern in the air. The ball over the top. It's been headed away by the Farsley defence. Now Scales puts it forward. It's a bit of a foot race, but is the ball going to stay in? Mulhern can keep it in. Oh, does he get past Pye? He doesn't. There's Magnes there to play it up the pitch, but Mulhern puts it out to throw it to Gateshead about 20 yards from the corner flag here on our right-hand side.
Yeah, it's better from Gateshead. That's what they need to do. Just start moving the ball a bit quicker, and getting the wide men to cut in like that and open up the sort of space. And
also just to give people obviously a bit of a visual description. Ollie Thompson, you would say, looks very similar build and height to Adam Campbell, just with darker hair. So we've got two nippy players up there at the moment. As the ball must have went out on the far side, throw in just inside Gateshead's half. Tinkler couldn't keep it in. As Kent Richardson makes his way down to the tunnel. It's a nice round of applause from the Tyne-and-Wear stand. Throw taken now. Ubazunu brings it down, cuts inside, manages to keep it moving. Farsley as the ball's forward as Williams, good tackle. Now Ward carries the ball forward, sees the run of Thompson. Thompson's got two players around him. He controls it though. Leaves it back to Pye. Good decision making from the youngster. There's Pye.
Well, the biggest compliment you can pay him is that he hasn't looked out of place so far.
He hasn't, has he?
Again, as I say, there's always a tendency to go over the top of it with youngsters when they come in, but I think he's done all right so far. Used the ball well, good movement, pacey. As you said, good options.
Yeah, he has been training with the first team on and off, so he is familiar with the players. It's not like he's just been plucked from the under-19s and put in. He's obviously a player that's been on the radar of Mike Williamson as Campbell drives forward with the ball, tried to thread it through to Ward, but free kick given away there. It's a free kick to Farsley about 25 yards out from their own box, left-hand side of the pitch.
Just trying to keep an eye on what's going on elsewhere. Fly Spartans 1-0 down against Boston. That will please the visitors here today. Darlington winning at Files.
It's very tight down the bottom of the National League North, as it is in the National League. Of course, we'll update you on scores that affect Gateshead. teams in and around who have got some tough competition at the moment. Some of them are playing the big boys, as now Tinkler just plays it back there. He had Williams just on his shoulder. Story plays it across to Mike Williamson, who carry the ball forward a few yards. He's going to give it back to Story. Pies in acres of space here, just on the halfway line. Farsley closed down the angles, and it's back with Story.
Yeah, it gets it just on to be patient here.
Yeah,
it's really disciplined from Farsley.
They're holding the shape very well at the moment. Well, Story plays it through to Conter in midfield. Manages to turn, gets the ball out to Thompson. Thompson back to Pye. Gateshead gradually moving further up the pitch as it goes. As I say that, it goes back over the halfway line, but not a problem. Gateshead in possession. Martin tries to flick it on. Tinkler was trying to get there, and Ubazunu is back in defensive duties at the moment, but Gateshead trying to get the ball forward as it comes off Tinkler, and I'll put right on the far side there.
I'm going to say this early, but straight penalties, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah. I'm trying to insinuate another 0-0 draw here at Gateshead International Stadium, are you, Mark?
I'll not be back for a few weeks if that happens. It's probably me.
There's a jinx somewhere. We don't know where it is. We'll root them out. Well, into the 32nd minute, and it is 0-0 still here at Gateshead Stadium. FA Trophy quarter-final action. Gateshead being the more adventurous going forward, but still on the attack, as now it comes across the scales on the right-hand side, controls the ball. Pye's come over for companies in the corner of the box, tries to take it down. Pye stands firm as Scales went down in installments, and the ball's being cleared as Martin comes across to try and apply pressure. The ball's put back up, but Story's going to be there to deal with it. Puts it over to Thompson, who under pressure from Turner. Turner does get the ball though, and Pye's there just to mop up and clear the ball, but it falls to a blue shirt. Sustained pressure for the first time really from Farsley here, and it's on the right hand side as Turner runs into Pye. Pye standing firm and plays it off Turner. That's really well done.
I know he's been playing at centre back in the last few games, but I really do like Pye at left back. I think he just gives you something extra getting forward.
I mean, we talk about the age of Ollie Thompson, but you know, even Pye, I don't even think he's 20 yet, and he's so calm and composed as he plays it into Magny. Magny gets it back to Pye. Now Story. Story has Williamson and acres of space, who he uses. The evergreen Mike Williamson doesn't seem to age as he gets the ball to Tinkler. Tinkler will pass it back to Williamson on the halfway line.
It's a movement. There's just, I keep saying it, but there's just not a lot going on in front, and Gateshead are kind of making life a little bit easy here for Farsley.
Oh, Ward leaves it through there. Conter couldn't get to it. Cleared by Turner.
But it was a lovely idea.
Well, all the way back to Montgomery from Williamson. Now, Story gives it to Pye, left-hand side of the pitch. Back to Story. Ball up. Oh, lovely vision to pick out. Campbell, right-hand side, drives in with it. Now drives down towards the dead ball and puts the cross in. Martin was there, but was headed by Martin. Well, I've seen some efforts. If I had went in, I would have given him all the credit in the world, but he just couldn't guide it with the back of his head.
Yeah, I've got to be honest, he's kind of done well. Like, he's manoeuvred space for himself, and I think could have maybe either taken it down, because it's not as if he was being closed down by any Farsley defenders. But
dare I say, an overhead kick?
Well,
been playing FIFA too much. As the ball is nodded down, Scales plays it inside. There's Magny though, but Mulhern does well to get it back. Thompson does great to win possession and play it back to Story.
Yeah, I can say it again. He's done nothing wrong there.
Just slotted in, hasn't he? As Campbell now plays it down the line, but couldn't pick out Ward. Ward chasing back. Tinkler and gets in front of his man.
Surprised he hasn't brought that back for the first foul there.
Yeah, I thought there was a
It's like a little touch on him.
Pye has the ball. Just slows it down, gives it back to Magne. Magne plays it across.
Mulhern's taking a knock. He just...
Well, yeah, he's not moving as much as he at the moment. He has got a big headband on, so he's obviously had a head injury, a wound. Obviously, I don't think he'd be playing with a concussion, but he isn't moving as freely. Gateshead still in possession, though.
Don't want that done.
As Tinkler turns, plays it back to Mike Williamson. That was a push, and there's a free kick here. And the player that did the foul and is down holding his face, so...
I think that's possibly trying to avoid a booking.
Well, I don't think he's going to get a booking here. It's a free kick, though. About 45 yards out, maybe a little bit more right-hand side. Dan Ward places the ball down. As Williams wants the ball further back. Referee will tell him where it's going to be taken. Referee agrees. I think this ball might come across to Tinkler here. Ward's looking at Tinkler a lot, unless he's just receiving information. Lots of players on the edge of the box. Where's this ball going to be delivered? It goes into the box, up towards Mike Williamson. Ball headed clear. Contel bring it down, no. Does really well to control it. And then he gets a shot off. It's a pin ball at the minute in the box. And Mike Williamson went to win the ball, asking for a foul, but the referee says you won the ball.
He's taking a knock on his knee there, by the way.
Did look like it, didn't it, when he... Well, Magne wins the header. As Mulhern has just elbowed Pye by the looks of it. And the ball goes out. Now, is the referee going to pull this back? That was the tussle between Mulhern and Pye is left in a heap on the ground. The referee's standing over it. He didn't see it, so he's not going to do anything, but that was...
The officials are talking to each other because he keeps touching his ear.
Yeah.
So clearly the linesman, or assistant, whatever you call them these days, and the fourth official are talking to him.
Well, the fourth official's come down here. He wants to speak to the referee, yes, so... The fourth official wouldn't leave his little area there to go the other side of the box if he wasn't. And Mulhern, this is from the word of his manager here. I think we are going to have conversation between the fourth official and the referee here, but Pye, more importantly, is still down. He's up. Did seem to be flailing elbows. I don't know if there's any contact just from what we're seeing, but hopefully Pye can continue.
Right. Well,
here we go. As the referee's coming over now. Well, the referee's been instructed of what the fourth official's seen there, so we'll find out what is going to be said and what happens. Mulhern is being called over by the referee.
No.
Looks like he's given Pye a bit of a talking to, unless it's been both players. Players remonstrating with the linesman who wasn't involved in any of this. Well, Pye has to leave the pitch. There's nothing going to happen here. Mulhern's just getting a talking to.
It's ultimately pointless then.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to keep an eye on that battle as the afternoon develops. 39 minutes gone, 0-0. And it's been I wouldn't say a cagey affair, but Gateshead looked comfortable, but without really carving out great chances.
Yeah, I think that sums it up quite nicely, Dave. Just hasn't quite happened, but Gateshead, apart from that, obviously the chance that, when James Montgomery's made that good save, that's really the only real threat they've had to deal with. But Gateshead need to do more going forward still. I know I keep saying this, but they just need a little bit more, maybe move the ball a bit quicker.
Well,
Jesus.
Well, You wanted it quicker. The ball went right through like a cannonball there. But they've got a corner for it. There must have been a touch at some point.
So Story knew what he was doing there, Louis.
Yeah. We'll let him off for that one. But Gateshead have a corner. And, you know, it's the old adage, you'd like to score just before half-time, and it would be a great time to score for either side, really.
Well, it would, and, you know, Gateshead are on the front foot at the moment. And a chance here to get themselves in front.
Dan Ward on corner duty in the absence of Captain Greg Ollie. As there's tussling in the box, as Story and Williamson are moving about. Up comes the ball towards them. Oh, the ball goes over. Butler had headed it. Mulhern clears the ball. Winning as far as Pye. Pye plays it back to Montgomery. There's a lot of players still up though for Gateshead. Montgomery in the centre circle with the ball. Plays it across to Campbell. Tinkler lays it back to Campbell. Campbell's going to lay it into Magnier.
I think it's possibly a little bit more that needed from Adam Campbell. You know, coming in from that right-hand side, he is playing very, very wide. But I just think when he comes inside, it just gives Farsley something else to think about. And, you know, some of the best chances in the game have come when he has tried to cut inside or when Thompson cut inside before.
Well, Williamson gives it to Story. Story across to Campbell, who's practically left-back position at the moment. He's all over the pitch at the moment. Tries to pick out the run of Tinkler on the far side. It's been cleared only as far as Williamson. Gets it to Tinkler now. Magnier puts the ball over the top and, well, is asking a lot of Martin to run onto that. And it's a goal kick.
Tell you what, you talk about big score lines. National League North, Darlington have just gone, I think, 2-0 up at Fylde.
Wow.
Oh, 2-1, sorry. 2-1.
2-1.
Andrew Nelson, who's just come back from injury, former Sunderland Academy striker and Dundee, had a long-term injury, but back with 2 goals.
Always nice to see someone fight back and get some goals, isn't it? Well, Gateshead win the header, but the ball's been put up towards the Gateshead defence. Story's there, clears it, and No Grey Shirt picks it up and Scales plays it inside to Mulhern. Mulhern goes down, and that's a soft one. Magnier coming behind, and Mulhern goes down. A free kick about 25 yards out, right-hand side of the box, and this is a chance for Farsley to get the ball in towards the danger zone.
Yeah, a little bit unnecessary, but I don't think Gateshead have today. They have got a big, it just looks a strong team, doesn't it? And it's a bit of height in there, and you'd hope they would deal with set pieces.
Well, Bobby Johnson stands up with the ball, as does Buttroyd. Johnson puts it in towards the back post and headed out by Aaron Martin for a corner on the far side as the Farsley Celtic fans get excited. The north end of the Tyne and Wear stand. Of course, we'd like to welcome all the striking BBC staff that are listening to the biggest game of the day. Of course, they're not working today. Where else would they be listening? Corner comes in from the far side. There's movement. There's tussling, and the ball is headed up in the air. Comes back across. It hasn't been cleared yet. It's still up in the air, and it's been put into the side netting, and it's a goal kick. And, well, that could have went anywhere.
Did you hear a whistle there?
I did hear a whistle, yeah. I thought it was a...
But the referees play it on. That's really unusual.
Unless it was a whistle in the crowd. But Gateshead bring the ball forward through Story. Half inside his own half. Just lays it across to Williamson. Story. Across to Pye. Nice movement from Thompson to Shaw, but the ball goes back into the middle. As Williamson gives it to Tinkler. White plays inside to Ward, but Johnson does well to interrupt. Now Johnson puts the ball over the top. William is going to get past Story. William drawing forward with the ball. Williams one-on-one with the keeper. Story does well to get back, but it hasn't been cleared yet. And great save from Montgomery. Reaction stuff. But William, he should have done better there. He got past Story. Story did well. And he's trying to get it onto his stronger foot, I think, Williams
I'm not really sure why he's cut inside. Doesn't need to cut inside. He can just go on the sort of angle that he's on.
I can only think it was for the stronger foot. That's the only thing.
You know, it's come at the detriment of probably what would have been a better chance. But yeah, poor again from Gateshead, caught out. You know, they've got to stay concentrated here. They've got to stay focused and watch what's happening, because we're into the final bit at the half, and bit of danger there.
Well, we've got 20 seconds or so of normal time remaining. It looks like there's going to be a few minutes added on here at the end. About Martin tries to win the ball, and he gives away a foul, and it's another opportunity for Farsley to get the ball in the box. It's right out on the right-hand touchline here, 30 yards out, and they're gonna whip this in. 3 minutes added on here for the injuries in the first half, as Bobby Johnson stands over the ball again.
A minimum of 3 minutes additional time. 3 minutes.
Now, you do not want to concede at this stage of the first half. There's now, in comes the delivery. It's high, it's deep. Back post is nodded down. Tinkler's able to get it away, and can get on the attack here. Campbell just holds it up, lays it back to Tinkler. Campbell, right hand side of the pitch, inside his own half, just slows it down. Players walk past him. Ball across here to Pye. Can he get there? Him and Thompson go up for it, and Johnson, sorry. And Conter comes away with the ball. Gates is on the attack. Campbell showing on the right hand side of the box. Gets past. But right, and there's a corner from Gateshead. That's a lot better, a lot faster.
Yeah, a lot better. Good, quick pace to that break. And first time we've really seen that from Gateshead today.
Well, we talked about Gateshead not wanting to concede. Can they score in the dying moments of injury time here in the first half? Downward yet again to take the set piece. In it comes, up in the air, and Martin wins the header. It's going to come back to Ward, though, on the dead ball line. Can he get a delivery and lays it off the flick from Williamson? And now Williams is on the run again, and got a man in the middle. Scales, the ball's put forward. Montgomery's come out his box, and he's going to clear that over the halfway line. Tinkler, did he win the header? He didn't, and it goes out for a Gateshead throw.
Interesting little flick there from.
It was,
from
yeah. I just thought Mike Williamson might have swung a boot at that one there, but Gateshead do they have one more roll of the dice here? Pye. Thompson showing for him, doesn't use him yet again. That's quite noticeable.
I think mainly because the Farsley defender is tracking him pretty well.
Now comes a delivery into the box. Headed clear, though. It's going to come back to Mike Williamson. Mike Williamson again puts a delivery into the box. But Clayton's there again to win the header. Falls. Slipped in midfield as Gateshead have the ball. Ward, can he live contact? Everyone's going to shoot. He goes for it. Deflection, another corner. This time on the near side.
I've got to be honest, I think Adam Campbell was the ball there, right hand side. He stood not on his own, but he certainly got some room to drive at a defender in the box, and understand why it's happened, but I just think it was an easier pass out wide there.
Well, I'd say this is surely the last bit of action of the first half. Down Ward places the ball down. Needs to be a good delivery, as they all do, but goes short along that, and he put it straight out for a goal kick. That's the worst corner I've ever seen in my life, and it's half time. What a waste that was. And Gateshead being in much the stronger side, but there's been flashes from Farsley. They do have a counter-attack in them, and Gateshead are going to have to be at their best. But Mark, it's a team that's down to the bare bones, on the bench and on the pitch. It's not the strongest lineup, but they're creating opportunities still, and they need to capitalise on them.
You are right, it is down to the bare bones, but Gateshead can't afford to feel sorry for themselves here. They really can't. They can't afford to get down on the injuries, and it's not that easy. It's still a strong
experienced players there. So, but say the players are going down the tunnel, followed by the referee and his linesman. Well, we're going to get ourselves a cup of tea and warm ourselves up. We will be back. We're going to go to. I know I need to. Apologies, everyone. I need to change this, but come back in 10-15 minutes. I'm going to put up those highlights from the podcast. I do need to change it. Apologies. Every time I say that, and I keep forgetting. But this is what the Heat Army podcast is normally like, and better. But we're back in 10-15 minutes for the second half, and hopefully it can be with some goals. Let's always give the podcast one more share. We're joined by our guest, Paul. How are you doing, Paul?
Evening, chaps. You all right?
Yeah, fantastic. Can you hear us all right?
Yeah, all good. Yeah.
Oh, good. You always fear when we have a guest come on. Sometimes the link isn't the greatest, but
it's nice to see a fella Baldy come. Look at that. Get in. You're like me. You've got more hair on your chin than on your head.
They say I should turn my head upside down.
Yeah. I've been told that a few times, to be fair, Paul.
You've been told to have your head a shake, Mickey. Paul, obviously we've got the game coming up on Saturday. How's the season started for yourselves?
Unbelievably well, as you sort of alluded to just a few moments ago. Way beyond the expectation, I think, of any Wealdstone fan, especially after seeing pre-season. It was slightly underwhelming. There was, you always get the try list, and we're never sure who the management team are going to sign on. We lost the 2 or 3 more influential players from last season, where we finished 16th. So unbelievable. 3 wins out of 4. The 3 wins that we have actually got are probably against the 3 stronger teams on paper, having lost to Eastleigh. So listen, we're not silly. We're only sort of 1 defeat away from possibly a bad run, that sort of thing. But we'll take it. 3 out of 4 and sort of second in the league at this time is unbelievable.
It's not a bad way to start.
You haven't got your championship button up already.
No. Listen, we're very realistic. We punch above our weight. We have done for this is our 3rd season now in the National League, and we survived the first 2. Did very well last season. No, it's 9 points towards safety. I think more than 9 points towards getting in the playoffs in League 2.
Yeah, I think we're probably the same. Just want to get as many points on the board as possible.
Yeah,
without a doubt. I think when you look at Wealdstone and what may hinder them going forward is the strength and depth in the squad. So if we can pick up as many points as we can whilst we're playing well, and the team are obviously doing very well, you hope you might pick up a few loan deals off the back of that, and let other players want to come and join if we're looking to sign others. So I think strength in depth is going to be probably something that will go against us. So by getting these points on the board is really going to help sort of getting into those stickier, colder, more difficult months, in and around and after Christmas.
Definitely, it's always the thing, isn't it? You don't want to get into a bad run of form when it's bad weather and travelling and horrible dark nights. It's never the greatest. But are Wealdstone full time, or used one of the few part time outfits?
No, we have 1 full time employee at the football club, who is a chap that runs the club on a day-to-day basis on the non-footballing side.
Yeah.
The whole footballing operation is part-time. Our manager, Stuart Maynard, is actually a BT engineer, and he doesn't work on a Tuesday because he commits his time to Wealdstone on a Tuesday, and they train on traditionally, as they used to in non-league, on a Tuesday and Thursday. I think the strength and conditioning coach, Rachel, she looks after them on a Monday, sort of via a Zoom meeting and that sort of thing. So I mean, listen, they're doing extremely well. Gone are the days where you are, as Oldham fans suggested, they're plasterers and plumbers and farmers. But
I think everyone knows about nutrition and fitness now.
Yeah.
It's in general day-to-day life, let alone athletes. And most of these players have been at bigger clubs, haven't they, or been involved at some point. So they look after themselves. And
these lads are footballers. They just happen. I think the biggest thing that we don't get as a football team, as a squad, I guess, is the contact time with the management. Not doing 4 or 5 hours a day on the training field. They're doing 4 or 5 hours a week. But they're all. I think we've probably got 2 or 3 that maybe have other jobs, but I think mainly football is their main focus. So we're lucky in that sense. And I guess us and maybe Dorking. I know you mentioned Dorking moments ago, and Maidenhead could be either they try and cherry pick the best part-time footballers that the country can offer, and we certainly got some in Jack Cook and Max Kretschmar come in and done extremely well.
Yeah, it's always a challenge. I mean, obviously we're still full time, which I didn't expect when we got demoted, but not by our own doing, of course. But it's one of them leagues where you do notice it is harder to compete against the full-time sides, isn't it?
Oh yeah, without that. And the thing was, when we came into it 3 seasons ago, we didn't have the setup we even have now, and it's those small steps to National League safety and National League status. 3 seasons ago, I mean, we were recruiting lads from the Ryman's Premier Division, some National League South teams. Now we're able to recruit National League standard players, those lads that have experience of the league. And I think that's where the biggest difference has come in the last 3 years, is the recruitment. Because we've stayed in the league, because we play the type of football and brand of football we do, everything has helped come, be better.
Mm-hmm. Well, just on that, we've got a question. Paul, what are the Wellstone tactics for coming to the game? I don't know if you want to skip all that away, but do you hold the midfield, or do you press up front straight away? What kind of football do Wellstone play?
No, Wellstone very much play a possession-based game. They play out of the back. They get caught a few times. Teams that do press, Eastleigh, I think, very much were one that put the press on, whereas these bigger sort of ex-league teams and the bigger teams tend to sort of sit off, and we can play through the lines that little bit. But we certainly do play very, very good possession-based football. We try and get on the front foot, try and load on the wings and out wide, and sometimes outgun teams. We're not particularly big, we're not particularly aggressive. And there's a lot of people sort of say the National League, you need 6 foot giant. You wait till you play Woking. They're about I think the average height is about 6'2", right? So we haven't got that. We got a few bigger lads, but we're quick, small, young, and have a desire to want to sort of get forward and play attacking football.
Well, I think it sounds exactly like with the conversation we had last week. Very similar to what the way Gateshead play, yeah. So
I think it's probably very much the same. Very much the same. I think that's how we won the National League South a few years ago. That's how Dorking have gone up. So we've got our management team in Stewie and Matt. They've stuck to their principles over the last 1.5, 2 years they've been in charge. I don't think they'll ever change. The benefit of that is it's almost like a little bit like academy football. So we've had good experience with loaning academy lads who've come in, and it's done them the world of good. A few of them are playing in the EFL Cup tonight, who were with us last year, because we play a good brand of football, and these non sort of lower league EFL teams want their youngsters to come and play with us. So you should see an attractive game with Wealdstone. It can sometimes be frustrating and boring because they keep the ball that little bit too much if the fans are being honest at times, but it works. On the whole, it works. And clearly 9 out of 12 points, it's showing that it's working.
Certainly is.
Half-time announcements. And the lines are repeat of a quick plea following Saturday's game against Chesterfield, where the Gateshead flags went walkabout, possibly someone taking it away from they were free to keep it. Unfortunately, this is not the case. The young fans who worked hard to raise money to buy the flags are feeling a bit down about it. So if you have it with
well, we are back waiting for the teams coming for the second half. We can give you some half-time scores from around the FA Trophy, and I'll get them just momentarily.
happy birthday wish. It's his 30th birthday.
1 second.
Happy birthday to Matthew Thornton.
Sorry, listeners. Right, here we are. These are the half-time scores around the FA Trophy at the moment. Aldershot 0, Halifax 1, Gateshead 0, Farsley Celtic 0, of course, here. Maidstone 1, Barnet 2, and York 0, Altrincham 1. And they must have had a delayed kickoff or a stoppage there, because that game is still going forward at the moment. So I was just saying there, Mark, York 1-0 down, and must have a delayed kickoff because it's still being played at the moment, that one. So, some interesting scores around, but the one that matters at the moment is the one here.
It is, yeah. An interesting first half that started really well, but seemed to just sort of, I just felt the intensity just decreased a bit second half of the first half. Really, I think, if we're honest, Farsley probably had the best 2 chances of the game. Gateshead have had promising spells, but I think the fact that Burnley's yet to make a real save probably speaks volumes. I think Dan Ward should have really done a lot better with the chance he had when he's fired over after that knee flick from Martin. But yeah, Gateshead, I think we know what they need to do second half. They need to come out, they need to be better on the ball, they need to be quicker on the ball, and really try and find some space and make Farsley work, because at the moment I feel they just haven't really been tested.
Yeah, well, as I say, someone sent this message here. I really think our fans are a bit flat today. Well, let's hope that we can spark into life with what they see in the second half. Keep those messages coming in. Also, like and subscribe. And say we are just waiting for the teams to come back out here at Gateshead International Stadium. And say if you are just joining us, it is 0-0, but Gateshead had to make a substitution in the first half. Kenton Richardson went off, and youngster Ollie Thompson came on to make his debut. Gateshead with a very threadbare squad at the moment, started with 6 defenders, and there was only 2 outfield players on the bench. There's only one there now at the moment. It's Philip Marshall, Rob Elliott, and another youngster, Ben Franklin, complete the bench. So if Gateshead have another injury, there'll be a bit of rejigging, you would think, to make room for that player that comes on and their best position. But at the moment, Mark, you just hope they can just get themselves through this without any, this competition aside, without any injuries that will carry into the league.
Yeah, the one thing we should say is that there are 3 players to come back from being cup tied.
Yeah.
So there is that. But you are right. Gateshead aren't just picking up injuries; they're picking up injuries to key players, and it's sad to see the way it's going, because I do think when everyone's fit in this squad, it's a very, very good squad. It just isn't happening.
Recent results show that over the festive
100%.
period when there was a stronger lineup to pick from. But let's see, the 4th official is out there already waiting. Out comes Rob Elliott, and we'll see what is about to happen here in the second half as Farsley come out now. Theo Williams, the first player out onto the pitch.
I think Rob Elliott's still having to go about the incident with Ethan Pye and
Mulhern.
Yeah, he seems to be still. I could be wrong, but it does look. He's just pointing.
Yeah, he's just pointing towards that area
exactly
of the pitch where it happened. So maybe, but Farsley are back out all in their light blue strips, and we await Gateshead to come back out for the second half. I don't think there'll be any changes. I think that's safe to say at the moment. But as I say, it's very bright here today, considering the week that we've had. The floodlights are on as well. But at the moment, the skies are a bit brighter. But can they shine down on Gateshead? This is the place to be. All the second half action here as the linesman and the referee come out synchronized, should we say there? It's
beautiful, wasn't it?
It was. All we needed was a swimming pool there. It was poetic the way they came out.
Right, Williamson's on the word Rob Elliott now.
Yeah. Well, Gateshead are going to be shooting towards the Fenland end, and Farsley Celtic shooting towards the River Tyne end. There is the odd gust of wind here at Gateshead International Stadium. Nothing that would disrupt anything on the pitch. Still a bit cold, but it's not as bad as it was on Tuesday night, as we just see 2 players that Gateshead would have loved to have had out there on the pitch today, in the captain and vice captain there, Owen Bailey and Greg Ollie, going past us. Hopefully they'll be back in action soon for Gateshead. But we're back underway. Johnson pings the ball up towards Mulhern. Williamson wins the header. Headed up by the captain, Butler. It's going to fall to Farsley. Appeals for handball. Shot off, hits against the defenders, and pass back to Montgomery by Conter. Magnay shows. Ball was nearly a little bit slow there. Williamson had to have quick feet to get the ball to Montgomery, but Story can now bring the ball forward on the left-hand side of the pitch. Puts it right out to Pye on the touchline. Back inside to Story. Story now. A little bit more pressure from the forward line, but Story carries it forward. Beckenbauer style. Puts it out to Conter. Conter right at the left wing now with where Ollie Thompson is. Plays inside to Conter. Plays it back to Story.
If Louis Story's ever been compared to Franz Beckenbauer.
Well, he has today. Well, Magnay gets the ball. Plays the ball laid off to Ward. It's just taken off his feet and cleared out for a throw in just in front of the dugout.
Yeah, those layoffs, they're good when they come off, but you just have to take care of the ball a little bit more in the final third. You know, Martin's got time there, and
yeah, he's too quick to distribute it instead of like holding it up. Sometimes I think it might just be a case of, you know, a bit of excitement or nerves. I know he's an experienced player, but he still hasn't got that goal, and that's what goal scorers thrive on, is scoring goals. And I think once he gets one, settle him right down. Campbell cuts inside, lays it to Magnay. Magnay looks to keep the ball moving. Pye. Ollie Thompson now plays the ball, tries to play it inside, deflected, comes back to Beckenbauer. Story as he drives forward with the ball again, gets it to Martin. Martin lays it off to Ward. Ward just runs into Butler, and there's Martin. Can he get the shot off? Oh, and it deflects out for a corner. Just thought that was going to rifle in. Better from Gateshead.
I'll tell you what as well, Dave, I think that was heading certainly goalwards.
Yeah.
And it looked, admittedly, I'm probably a big call here, but it looked as if it was heading towards the far post.
Well, 48th minute gone, 0-0. Gateshead with a corner. Ward down to our right-hand side.
Brennan's last one.
Well, it couldn't be any worse. In it comes this time towards the near post. Little flick there from Story. And it's been cleared, but Pye's there, nods it. Oh, straight into Williamson. Oh, Conter was there to block the move. And now the ball's out with Ward on the right-hand side. He's got space. Can he get the ball in? Tries to get it to Magnay, who's driving forward. Goes down. Oh, Gateshead still with the ball. It goes out now for a corner. Well, that looked like it went straight off. It's a goal kick.
Oh, that's better. It's a bit more intensity, and you know.
Thought Magnay could have stayed on his feet there.
I think he's possibly slipped more than anything else.
Yeah.
But no, that's better. It's a lovely idea from Louis Story. That little flick. He must have heard you, Dave, with these comparisons with Franz Beckenbauer.
Well, he's trying to get compares with Romario there with that little flick. He's trying to go through all the legends here this afternoon. We're gonna have to call him the chameleon because he's turned into all these different things. As
got to hold it up.
Gateshead, Williamson wins the header just in front of. Oh, and brings down Mulhern. Williamson, and it's a free kick, very central, 40 yards out, 45 yards out, and they're going to use this as an opportunity to get the ball up and around the box. Farsley Celtic. Well, there we go. The referee had marked the pitch. That's where the free kick is going to be taken from. Johnson stands over the ball. Butler and Clayton are up there. Up it comes, but it's too close to the goalkeeper all day. James Montgomery, as he rolls the ball out to Conter. He's under pressure from Johnson, but gets it to Pye. Pye now plays it across to Williamson, who can carry it forward, but gets Campbell involved in the play, who cuts inside with the ball. Back to Magnay. Magnay finds Ward in acres of space. Can he get a delivery in? Oh, it falls there. Oh, no, it's handball by Robbie Tinkler. I think it was there. It just wouldn't sit up. Well, it sat up too much for him then, hit his hand.
But again, it's better Gateshead just look as if there's a bit more pace about them this off.
Well, 50 minutes gone, 0-0.
Temperature's dipping, Dave, isn't it?
It is. Thankfully, there isn't another commentary team here, and we've got a heater under the table. But I think I'm the one that's getting the benefit of it at the moment. Williamson heads the ball clear. Conter gets it to up and down. Martin managed to flick it forward for Thompson. Thompson kind of get onto it, cleared by Turner on the far side, and the ball's going to fall though in midfield to Farsley. Put the ball across there to Mulhern, right hand side of the box. Left it, and he's laid it off. Shot from Scales. Didn't get the connection he wanted, but it zipped through and out for a goal kick. All it needed was somebody there to prod it home. It wasn't the greatest of shots, but the ball went through a dangerous area. And Montgomery takes it short to Story on the edge of his box. Story to Pye. Story receives the ball back on the corner of the box. Plays it across the other side to Williamson, who can drive with it a few yards before he picks out Tinkler. Tinkler tries to play it through, and Farsley intercept. Mulhern on the halfway line, drop deep. Ball pinged through towards Mulhern, but there's Williamson intercept and keep the ball moving as Ward, nice footwork, gets it out to Campbell. Campbell on the right hand side. He's got Martin making the run in front of him. Can he get there in front of the defender? Defender gets there in front of him, and now Boothroyd can get the ball back and clear it down the line, and that's going to go out for a Gateshead throw right next to the dugout. Well, it was a good run from Martin, but the defender, who was the captain, Butler, just got in front of him. Gateshead still in possession, trying to keep going forward. And ball comes across.
Great ball. To
Campbell, brings it down really well. Needed delivery, and the ball's going to bounce out for a corner.
Yeah, this is better, isn't it? There's a bit more, it looks a bit more direct from Gateshead, not necessarily going long, but certainly the passing where they were making 2 passes to get across the pitch first half. They're just looking for more diags and longer length on the pass, and it's working.
Certainly is. Well, Ward puts this one in. Keeper's going to pluck that out the air. He's just going to wait for his team to get up the pitch before he distributes it. Danley now hits the ball up towards Story, who just nods it back to his own keeper. Rolls it out, well, throws it out to Tinkler. Seeing Theo Williams just playing a bit of a higher role, I think, because of the joy he got in the later stages of the first half. He's blessed with pace. There's Conter. Just plays it across to Williamson inside the gated halves. Gets to the halfway line. Still going Williamson. Now to Campbell. Campbell plays it inside to Conter. Referee just nearly getting in the way of Conter. Conter still going. He's running back the other direction now. Plays it across to Pye. Now Ollie Thompson. Plays it inside to Conter. Conter sees a runner. Can he get a through to him? Oh, and Ollie Thompson goes for an audacious one. It just goes up and wide. Quite far wide, but
it was audacious.
It was there to be struck at. Goal kick to Farsley. All the players congregated on the right-hand side of the pitch, going towards Gateshead's goal. There's now Scales, puts the ball over the top, looking for the run of Williams. Story was there to get the ball under control, plays it back up the pitch, goes out to play, though, for a throw-in. And we are 55 minutes in. Still 0-0 if you just joined us here.
Fair play to the
50-50 prize has been claimed. The 50-50 prize.
Fair play to the ball boys and ball girls here today, because a few of them are actually in short.
Yeah, they're braver than me. Although it's a little bit milder, it's still pretty cold. The Story's going to see that out. Well played. Goal kick to Gateshead. Well, and Gateshead's got to have a mixture of patience, but get the ball moving quickly when the opportunity does arise.
Well, it's notable second half that Williamson and Story are bringing the ball forwards more and trying to commit Farsley and give them something different to think about. If you look, the two fullbacks have been cutting in as well. There's just a little bit more eagerness to get on the ball, I think.
Conte has the ball in the centre circle, lays it across to Mike Williamson, who carried over the halfway line. Tinkler goes all the way through to Campbell, though. Campbell plays it down the line to Ward. Ward with back heel, wins a throw in. And this is about 10 yards from the corner flag on the right-hand side. Tinkler just drying the ball on his shirt.
Possibly seeing a little bit more of the sort of interplay that we saw last season from Gateshead, aren't we?
It's looking a little bit more silkier, but it needs to create a chance still. Tinkler goes for the long throw. Williamson nods it back across. It's going across the hook to clear, though. Farsley and Theo Williams in a foot race with Ward, and Ward does very well to win the ball. He's slipped. He wins a free kick. I wouldn't have said it was a free kick. He seemed to slip, but we'll take it from a Gateshead perspective. Unless there was connection with the boot, but from here it's hard to see.
Yeah, it's difficult to say from here, isn't it?
Gateshead with men committed forward. Williamson on the edge of the box. Story, Martin. Conte's going up there as well. It's going to be Pye that puts his delivery in. It's about 10 yards from the halfway line. Up it goes towards Mike Williamson, and the keeper comes out and just collects it over him in the air. Good goalkeeping. Ben Franklin's warming up down the touchline here on our left. I'm not surprised if he's sitting on the bench in his shorts. You've got to keep warm. I don't know if we'll see an introduction of him just yet. As Mulhern wins the header, gets it to Williams. Williams dispossessed, though. Gateshead in possession through Thompson, who plays it all the way back to Montgomery. Montgomery has Tinkler, who he uses. Williamson has acres of space to carry the ball forward. Puts it across the Story. Story with the vision to pick out Tinkler here on the right-hand side. And Akers chests it down, lays it into Campbell. Campbell tries to turn, plays it off his man and gets a corner for his troubles. Good stuff.
For a second, I thought the linesman was going to give a goal kick.
Well, taken short. Ward to Campbell. Can Campbell get a delivery into the box? He can. It's towards the back post. There's Thompson, the shortest man in the pitch. And he must spotted a foul. It's a free kick. Just for a second there, he was hanging in the air, Thompson. I thought he was going to get it. Well, we wait the free kick to be taken by Farsley keeper. Up it goes. Williams wins the header, but it goes all the way through to Montgomery.
Yeah, that's worked quite well, hasn't it? Magnay's just dropped into back fourth if Story or Williamson's gone further forward.
He's comfortable in that position. I would say the midfield movement is a little bit stifled compared to normal with the energy that we normally have in midfield, but certainly doing a good job as he wins the ball there in front of Williams, and Gateshead just pass it around and now try to build a lovely flick from Conte out toward on the right-hand side. The delivery has to be good. Can it be? Now he pulls it back to Campbell. Campbell puts it across. Too deep, and over it goes, and Scales can clear the ball all the way up to Mulhern, and it comes off Story, unfortunately out for a throw just inside Gateshead's half.
No, we said this on Tuesday night when Gateshead got themselves into good positions. The delivery just wasn't quite good enough, and I think we've seen another example of that there. It's lovely. It's really patient and well worked. The movement's perfect to get them in the right area, and the execution on the cross is just not quite there.
Well, Mulhern, his header goes to Scales. Now it's passed across here to Boothroyd. Boothroyd has clearance support. Uses it. It's passed all the way back, and Butler has to chase this back all the way to his keeper, and the keeper's under pressure from Martin. He'll be able to clear it though. Pye gets the ball under control, brought that down really well. Can get this ball moving quickly as Conte has it on the left-hand side. Still going with the ball, Conte Plays it to Martin, and
It's done the hard bit.
Did the hard bit. Just the distribution wasn't very good, and the ball has been cleared. And now Mike Williamson comes across the block. Williams, and lovely tackle, falls to Mulhern though. Mulhern drives to the right hand side of the box, puts it across, and that is probably the worst cross shot you'll see all season.
It's not. The worst cross was first off when Dan Ward tried to take that corner.
Oh yeah.
But it was equally,
I was trying to say that was a bad pass,
well,
but
okay. Well, it was equally as poor.
The referee said that was a moving ball. Goal kick has to be taken again. Now it's taken to Mike Williamson. He can bring the ball forward. Sees Pye out there on the left-hand side. Has plenty of time to control it and distribute it. As Martin's touch just took it away from any of his teammates. And now the ball over the top. The Story and Mulhern in a foot race. There's Story drives to get it in. The cross comes into the box. Tinkler has to do well to knock that down.
And give it back.
It's good spatial awareness from Robbie Tinkler. He knew the man was behind him. Calm as you like, it was back to Montgomery. But
it's a good game, wasn't he? Again, Tinks.
Yeah, there's Mike Williamson just carries the ball forward. No urgency from.
Oh, Mike.
Oh, well, nearly said that. No urgency from the Farsley midfield or forward line to close that down. And, well, with deliveries like that, it's not really going to bother them. But it comes back to Williamson. Plays it out to Campbell, right-hand side. Driving towards the corner of the box. He cuts inside. There's Ward. Lovely stuff. Can he get a delivery in? We need a better one. And he didn't anticipate the run of Campbell. The ball up there. And at the moment, Farsley sitting very deep. And Mulhern was not even in the Gateshead half when the ball was distributed. But Story can bring it forward. Campbell looks to get a delivery in. He's a bit of trickery. Can he lay it off? Lays it to Story. Martin shouting for it at the back post. Ball comes back to Story. Can Story get a delivery in? Ball put out for a throw. And ball just needs to be whipped into the box a bit quicker here.
I think at the moment, though, the only issue there was that Aaron Martin is literally the only man in the box. We're going to see another one of these long throws here, I think.
Yeah.
Now, what has not been notable is Farsley been allowing Gateshead to win the first ball and mopping up the second. So Gateshead need to be a bit alert if they do win the first ball here.
It does seem like Farsley have took the foot off the pedal somewhat on the tempo. Can Gateshead build on that? As the ball comes in now, Mike Williamson backheads it across. There's nobody there and it's been hooked clear. And it's going to go out for a throw right next to the Gateshead dugout here in front of us. Tinkler quickly takes it to Pye. Pye chests it down, gives it to Tinkler. Tinkler sees a movement. Mike Williamson is very high, lays it out to Campbell. Campbell tries to put it over the top, and ball comes off Mike Williamson and goes out for a throw. And they are trying to move it quicker. You can see the tempo is rising.
It's been better in the final third. It's just that final pass or that little bit of urgency in the area. But, you know, Farsley, as you say, have dropped a little bit deeper. Gateshead have got to be careful on the break. There's plenty of pace in this Farsley side.
Mulhern's clearance there. But he gets the ball back. Wasn't the greatest. Gateshead can they pick up the ball in midfield? They can. Campbell lays it off to Conter. Conter, can he get it across? Oh, just picked out the wrong ball. He had Campbell on his right-hand side. Tinkler, the ball comes off him for a throw on the halfway line for Farsley Celtic. And although they have took the foot off the pedal a little bit in tempo-wise, Farsley Celtic, they're holding the shape very well still.
They are very well, and they look disciplined and organised, which is everything, you know, you would expect of a club from a lower level. You'd expect them to come to Gateshead and do that, because that's the kind of bare minimum they need. But it's down to Gateshead to unlock them.
Johnson, tackled by Conter. Conter does well. Lovely footwork from Conter. He does a turn down the line. He's got to keep it going forward in the middle to Campbell. Campbell with a ball across. Can Thompson get there? He can.
He's got to get in the overlap.
He needs some support as now Thompson carries the ball forward. Cuts in with it. Plays it into Ward. Ward with a little touch. Gets it back to Campbell over the far side. Now the delivery has to come in. He has to do it first time. Now he takes it down at the dead ball line. Plays it off the player and it's going to be cleared. Foul given on there, and Pye needs to move that ball quicker from underneath his feet.
He's got his first touch is good. He's got it out with his feet. He's got a chance to put it in. Gateshead have loaded the area. It's got to go in. I don't understand why he's kind of hesitated there.
And from our position, it did look like he had half a yard on him just at the space to whip that cross in. Whether he would have got a corner or it would have found a Gateshead head is another question. But you've got to get the ball in the box, or you're not going to create chances. But the free kick for Farsley, level of the corner of the box on the right-hand side, is about to be taken by Danley. Header won by Gateshead, goes all the way back to Montgomery.
I mean, there's no doubt who's been the better side second half. But at the minute, again, and I keep saying this, Danley hasn't made a save.
Well, can Gateshead make the Farsley number 1 work going forward as Mike Williamson plays the ball to Tinkler on the right-hand side. Now he puts a cross in there. It's cleared up in the air towards the edge of the box. Campbell nods it down to Ward. Ward controls it well. Tinkler. We need some movement in front of him as he plays it back to Williamson. Williamson now. Aaron Martin's wanting the delivery into the box, but Williamson can drive forward. People are going to... Now he lays it off to Magnay. Magnay to Campbell. He's got Tinkler on the inside, but he tries to play it. Ward can pick up the loose ball, but he couldn't control it. And now Farsley on the attack as Scales drives over the halfway line. He's got Mulhern to his right. Williams is running down the left-hand side. Mulhern up against Pye, drives down. Can he get the cross in? Montgomery plucks that out as the shotgun cross come in. And that was what we have to fear from Farsley. The counter-attack is quick.
It's exactly what we're talking about, isn't it, Gateshead? Just getting towards the edge of the box and sort of running out ideas a little bit. And Farsley, I think we can see, mentioned it before, and pace on the attack.
And there we go, just
counter.
Montgomery just slowing it down somewhat, not just distributing it straight away, but Gateshead now try and building through Pye.
I do wonder if there's look at Camel Conte and just...
Ball across to Tinkler, he's in acres of space, he needs to control it well, brings it down, corner of the box, puts it in there towards the back post, headed out for a corner, and, well, it was a dangerous ball, just there wasn't anyone in there attacking on it, but the defender had to put it behind.
I don't think it's necessarily a bad ball. It's just that
was a good ball.
It's just in the wrong area.
Yeah,
which probably does make it a bad ball. But I think looking at Martin, he's just gone a little bit too early. He's gone near post. Tinkler hasn't read that. And you're looking at Ollie Thompson far post. Unfortunately, he probably isn't going to beat many people in the air. Not that I can say anything.
Well, if he is going to do that, he's going to have to peel off to a lot further back to have some joy in that front. But the ball headed away by Butler as Tinkler in a foot race gets to it, can lay it off to Pye. Everybody inside the Farsley half bar. Montgomery. Tinkler gets the ball back. Ward's in space on the right-hand side, but I think it's going to go back to Pye. It has. Pye can take it a little bit more central, take it out to Tinkler. Tinkler can put it into Martin. Martin lays it off to Magnay. Magnay puts it to Campbell. Campbell puts it back across. Here comes Thompson! Oh, just screwed it over. Oh,
that was his moment, wasn't it? That was his moment.
Dare I say, I thought that was going to be a fairy tale moment.
Just got to get over the top of it. He's possibly nerves there. Just got a bit eager, trying to get the ball too quickly. And he's just got underneath it. Aaron Martin, good to see there, by the way. Aaron Martin's just gone over to have a word with him. But yeah, he's just got to get the technique right. He's got to get over the top. It's not an easy chance, by the way. We should make it.
It would have been a spectacular goal if he had got that in the back of the net. Well, the longer it goes on, the looming threat of penalties do lurk into the back of the mind. But we've got 22 minutes remain. Ball cleared. Magnay picks it up, gives it to Ward. Ward gets the ball going there. Oh, and there's Bootroyd stopped Campbell from getting forward. Good stuff from Tinkler. Good tackle. Gets it through to Campbell. Ball gets through to him now. This is an opportunity. Thompson, Martin in the box. Campbell, right-hand side. He plays it into the feet of Butler, and it's out for a corner. Golden opportunity, and it looks like Farsley are going to make a change here. Coming up very shortly. A player is getting stripped.
He's in a hurry.
He is in a big hurry here.
I don't think he needs to be because.
Well, I think the attacker number 9, Carlton Zabunu, is hobbling. I think it's going to be a swap here.
Tom Allen, isn't it?
Tom Allen's coming on. He's scored a few goals of late. Big defender. Of course, he'll give an aerial threat and also good defensive duties as well. But now we'll wait here for the substitution. The referee isn't happy. He's telling him to get off, and because he could have walked off, he's seen it. And he's not happy. He's given a talking to the Farsley player. But Tom Allen, Gateshead's record goal scorer, by the way, due to a tribunal.
I assume you mean record signing.
That's the record goal scorer there. Yeah, sorry about that.
There we go. I knew I'd have to put you right.
There you go. See, we knew it would come. We knew it would come. Well, now number 9 makes way. Tom Allen is going to come on. He's getting instructions. He's been told where to go. Now, I don't know much about their bench and what the players' positions they play in, but that seems a defensive move from Farsley.
Possibly, yeah. It means a big emphasis on Mulhern as a 9 now to hold the ball up. Gateshead not committing everyone in here, though.
No, I say Pye right up next to the centre circle. Once again, we wait for a good delivery. Ball comes up, bounces over the top, and now it's been cleared by Clayton. It's going to go all the way back to Montgomery, who comes out his box, takes a touch. It's almost like a sweeper here. Where's he going to put it? Out towards the left-hand side. Martin's up there. Martin wins the header. Can he get the ball? Conta picks it up. Now Gateshead looking to carve something out as Magnay plays it across to Tinkler. Williamson. Pye. Conta. Conta goes up against Scales. Can he get past him? Scales, good tackle, and the ball goes out for a goal kick. Well, the ball went in the direction where it was kicked from the defender there, but we can't argue it. It is a goal kick.
Pardon my ignorance on this, but in terms of Ben Franklin, the other sub, do we know what position he plays?
I think he's a midfield player.
I really should have done my research.
I should have as well, but I wasn't expecting the lineup that we got. Haven't been to an under-19s game in a few seasons.
Sorry, one of the players is down doing his laces. Now he's inside his own final third. Aaron Martin could go and push on.
Yeah.
Back in position now. They've held it enough time.
Well, we wait the goal kick. Referee's telling them to hurry up. We're seeing a few stalling techniques as Allen goes up to win the header. I think we can see what technique they're going to go for here. Tom Allen has been a little bit higher. He's going to be up there to try and win the headers and knock them onto Williams and Mulhern. Tom Allen's going to take this throw, though. You think you'd want him on the other end of it, wouldn't you? The tallest player on the pitch.
Long throw, though.
Here it comes. In comes the throw. Headed on. Headed out, though. And now, but Johnson got his body in the way. Tinkler drives forward. No one really showing for him there.
Yeah, Ollie Thompson sort of not really given him anything there.
No, I think Ollie Thompson would have just went into a dead end there if he had got the ball. But Gateshead looking to build through Pye. Martin wanting the ball put forward quicker. Magnay and played across to Tinkler. Tinkler, if he looks up, there's a run of Ward. Picks him out. Can Ward control? He can. Drives with the ball towards the corner of the box. Gateshead trying to hold the ball. It was Pye. Oh, it's played through for Ward again. Or was it when he goes down? That was... One needs to be careful. Certainly wasn't a foul. Goal kick, though.
It's felt quite low-key, hasn't it?
It has.
For a quarter-final.
I think there's a nervous tension in the air. 74 minutes, about to go into the 75th. There's Tom Allen beaten in the air by Mike Williamson. The ball's going to bounce out for a throw to Farsley just in front of the Gateshead dugout as Ian Watson hands the ball to Buttroyd. Allen wins the header, gets it to William. William tries to turn on Williamson, but Story's going to be there to see it out. Goal kick. Referee, Montgomery asking why he wasn't cautioned for that foul.
Well, I mean, it's a good point because the ball's out. It's out by a good 3 or 4 yards. He's sort of
nudged into him.
Into Story. There's not really any need for it.
Someone's asked the question, does it have to be settled today? It does. It goes to penalties if it's 0-0 at full time.
Straight to penalties.
Straight to penalties. And we don't want that if it can be helped. Entertaining for the neutral. Heart-stopping for those involved as Martin wins the header. Buttroyd has to get it down. Oh, I just thought he had not headed that back powerful enough. Campbell was bearing down.
A little bit of sympathy for Aaron Martin there, because he's done everything right. And he hasn't got the support.
Well, Tom Allen tussling with Mike Williamson. Ward heads it up in the air, headed forward by Atkinson. Tom Allen judged to a foul against a player there. Free kick. Taken. Story to Montgomery, who plays it across the other side of the box to Mike Williamson. Williamson back to Montgomery. The work rate just up slightly from Farsley. As Ward drops deep, gives it to Montgomery. Certainly a lot more movement from the Farsley players closing down, but the ball up towards Tinkler. It's beaten to it by Allen, but Tinkler gets to the ball now. Ward plays it inside to Tinkler. There's no one really showing for him there, but Ward does get to it. Oh, and the ball to Martin.
Take care of it.
Well, just got a little bit more patience. The Story nods it back to Montgomery. And I feel for Martin because he's making the right moves, but the ball to him hasn't been great.
No, it hasn't. He hasn't had the right sort of service, but he's also got to make the service happen as well. It's a good ball.
Campbell gets the ball, dead ball line next to the corner flag. Up against Buttroyd, wins a throw in. Tinkler can come down here and take a long throw. Story comes up. Story and Mike Williamson come up to try and win the header and nod it on.
They have had a little bit of joy from this.
They have, but the aspect of Tom Allen adds a different aerial battle in there. You expect either Story or Williamson to try and win this to head it on, and well, ball to Tinkler. Now he's got a good chance to whip this in. In it comes, headed clear by Tom Allen, only as far as Johnson, but Gateshead managed to nod it back to Tinkler on the right-hand side. Campbell plays it inside to Ward. Can he get a shot off? Goes for the shot, deflected, and it's going to bounce out, and Mulhern puts it anywhere over the halfway line. It's going to be a bouncing ball, but Pye, calm as you like, nods it back to Montgomery because Scales was on his back.
Okay, another one that was goal bound. I think there's joy down here again. That you take out Tom Allen and
well, Williamson over the halfway line, still going with the ball. Dinks it up towards Martin. Martin nods it on. He just didn't get it towards Ward, who's running on. It went more goalward bound. Easy for the keeper to deal with. 12 minutes remain. 0-0 if you are just joining us. FA Trophy quarter-final between Gateshead and Farsley. Nervous tension around Gateshead Stadium. Both sets of supporters. There's Story. Carries the ball forward, gets it to Pye. Pye plays it forward to Thompson. Thompson, lovely little flick. Can he get through? Was it a foul? But Martin's got the ball in the box. He's took it down to the dead ball line. Why did he take it down to the dead ball line? Oh, I just thought he could have pulled it back across, but he did have two players there with him.
It's also hobbling.
Yeah. Well, he's just lifting his leg up for a stride when he's walking there. He seems to be all right.
I don't know why he hasn't actually just pulled the trigger, you know.
Just an extra touch. Ball goes up towards Tom Allen and Williamson. Good battle, but they didn't get off the ground. The ball bounced over the top of them, and now Butler clears the ball over his shoulder towards Mulhern, but Pye wins the header. Nobody to pick up the second ball. Clayton heads it forward. Magnier can bring it down, lays it off to Ward. Gator can build from the back. Need to have what we had in the first 15 minutes of the first half. A little bit more zip in the final third. Campbell. Inside to Magnier. Magnier's touch just lets him down, but it's going to fall to Campbell. Campbell picks up his own ball, nods it forward to Ward. Ward drives inside. He's got space to go with the ball. Can he get a shot off? He can. And keeper made more of it than what he needed to. And nearly hit his head off the post. It's a corner.
Keeper can probably throw his cap on that if he was round one. He's got down there. One, I think it was possibly going just wide anyway. But
he was scrambling, wasn't he?
Made a right hash of that.
Well, yet another corner for Gateshead. Ball put in deep this time. Martin heads the ball, but it comes off a blue shirt. Mulhern trying to clear it. Falls to come to the edge of the box. Ball dinked across. It's going to be headed clear by Williams. And now Mulhern gets a touch on it and goes for a long. Oh my word! As Montgomery, it's what a save! He was back scrambling. You've got to say Mulhern went for it. He knew what he was doing, but wow,
that's an unbelievable save, by the way.
Nearly lobbed from the inside the gated half there. Or was it just inside the Farsley half?
No, I think it's well inside his own half.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant save from Montgomery. I think he might hurt himself as well, but he's done brilliantly to save that because it's gone a long way, but it's gone a long way off. He's had a lot of time to think about it. He's backtracking. I think that is just a very, very good save and brilliant from Mulhern as well.
Yeah. Wow. The Story carries it forward. Out to Pye on the left-hand side. He's got contact to show for him, but he plays it back down to the line to Story. Story back to Pye. Pye back to Magny. Magny under pressure back to Pye. Gates have to play it all the way back to Montgomery. Montgomery comes out, plays it to Williamson. Williamson now lays it off to Campbell. We've got best part of 8 minutes left at the moment as Ward turns inside, gives it to Tinkler. Tinkler tried to play it in, and was Magny fouled? Well, the ball comes out now to Gateshead. Ward can get to this ball. Is it going to go out for a throw for Gateshead? It has. Thought the referee was going to pull that back there, but the throw's been taken. Tinkler, edge of the box, tries to drive. Free kick. Well,
free kick.
Thought it was going to be a free kick on the edge of the box there. Williamson nods the ball. And Montgomery comes out. Well, it looked like a block, but we play on. Williamson gets the ball up towards.
Oh no, he's not.
He was never offside. He had two players behind him when he moved. Well, we've got 7.5 minutes left here at Gateshead International Stadium. 0-0, and the air of nervousness is still amongst us here. Will we see penalties or a late winner here? Free kick just outside the Farsley box for the Farsley keeper to take. Ball up towards Allen. Williamson won the header, but the ball's with Farsley at the moment as Bobby Thompson, good bit of footwork. Ball played down the line, and Williams runs down. Can he keep it in? We nearly got there. And went out for it was a great effort from Williams to get there. Like, I didn't think he was going to make such a good attempt at it. Ball back in play through Story to Pye. Compter drops deep to get involved. Back to Pye. Pye looks to get the ball moving forward, but plays it back.
Probably going to have a good fight.
Oh, and the ball played off Mulhern there. Good block, but the ball comes across.
A good 5 minutes added on.
You would think. But Gateshead in possession through Williamson. Campbell plays it down the line for Ward. Ward drives with the ball. He's going back and clicks out. Story in the centre circle. Pye receives the ball. There's Story. Plays it out to Campbell. Campbell, now we need a delivery. We need bodies in the box as well as Campbell. Corner of the box, goes up against Allen. Dinks it down to Ward. Ward pulls it back. Corner. That's good stuff.
I really think when the two wide men have cut in inside the area, it's really opened the game up, and you've got like Dan Ward in. There's a chance here.
Wow. The big men go up again. Magny's up there. Story, Williamson, Martin, Conter. Can we pick out one of those heads, or will it fall to someone on the edge of the box? Now the corner comes in from Ward. Martin was just coming up there, has nicked off his head. There's Mulhern. There's beat to the ball by Tinkler. Great stuff. He's got the ball on the left-hand side. Crosses it in left-footed towards Martin. Martin with the header. And it's a corner. I thought he got the final contact. Another corner to Gateshead. 5 minutes remain. Gateshead want to take a quick. Referee slowed it down.
What's he doing? He's going offside.
Oh,
surely not.
Well, not the corner that we thought that was given. Well, a free kick going to be taken now. Looks more like a goal kick though. As Tom Allen wins a free header. Mike Williamson clears it, but Mulhern manages to Pie and Scales.
Yeah.
And both tussle in there. Gates have come away with the ball. Story gets it to Thompson. Thompson's ball to Pie. Wasn't the greatest, and it's been cleared by Farsley. Hasn't went out yet. His Story has Williams all over his back. Turns, plays down the line. Now Pie can play it across to
Gates can get this ball moved quickly.
Williamson. Now Tinkler. 3.5 minutes left. Fair to say, I think next goal wins.
It'll be far short.
Well, we now have Magny inside the Farsley half, puts it across the right-hand side to Campbell. What can the little man conjure up as he drives in with it? Gives it to Ward. Ward has the ball in there. He had it nicked away from him. Williamson has the ball. Martin screaming for it. Lovely ball to Tinker on the corner of the box. Ward. Can we get a delivery in towards Martin? Oh, it's just taken away from the... And judged to have fouled Clayton, I think it is there. Well, both entitled to go for it, but he just caught the man before the ball. Well, we're into the 88th minute. I think we are going to see another substitution from Farsley as well. Here, they want to change things up. Is this a tactical substitution with the thought of penalties, or is it another push to try and create something? Well, ball still in play. Williamson now gets the ball. He's going to carry it over the halfway line yet again. Campbell's in acres of space here on the right-hand side. Ward shown in the inside, but now Campbell. Ball across to Pie. Need a delivery into the box. Conter. He's on the left-hand side of the box. Lays it down to Campbell. Campbell puts it back to Pie. Mulhern chase now, but good footwork from Pie to get it to Tinkler. People shouting to shoot. He does. He takes a deflection. It's going to go out for nothing. It's been kept in by the goalkeeper. Thought it was just going to go out for a corner, but it's slowed down with the spin.
Yeah, we're into the final minute of the 90. Or just about to.
Yeah.
Can you get the stage now or never?
90 seconds left. I want to see the substitution, then we'll see how many. Oh,
I don't think it is. I think it's a blood shirt.
As the ball goes up towards Allen. Allen wins the header, but Story can nod it down to Tinkler, who can play it back to Montgomery. His clearance all the way up towards Martin. Didn't get there, but it's going to fall to Gates to the midfield. Ball out towards Campbell, but not a good enough delivery. But Pye can pick it up on the halfway line. Ball across to Tinkler. Gateshead still probing. Ball up towards Martin. Martin chests it down and just couldn't get the control. Magny wins the header, gets it to Ollie Thompson, who runs into Tom Allen. Cleared now. Offside flag will go up if Williams goes near this. Well, now it goes up. That was very, very late. Why not
just put the flag up? If he's offside, he's offside. Christ.
That was very late.
It's got to be 4 or 5, surely.
Yeah, you would think, wouldn't you? Common sense would say that, but we'll see what happens. There's now Campbell, gives it to Ollie Thompson, tries to lay it off to Ward, but ball comes back to a Gateshead shirt. Back to Williamson on the halfway line. Everybody inside the Farsley half. 3 minutes added on, so we're into that now. Are we on for a grandstand finish, or will we go to penalties?
Additional time.
Ball out to Campbell. He's got Pye on the underlap. Plays it inside though. Martin controls it, goes for the shot. Deflected out. Magny manages to have a battle with Mulhern, and the loose ball falls to Tinkler. Ball through to Ward. He's onside. Can he turn? Oh, the flag was late again. Well,
it must be narrow.
Very narrow.
You know, it's a good run from Ward. You saw him make it early and looked as if there's a man far side.
It's beautiful control to bring it down, though.
Yeah, and I think the keeper's made the save, but the ball's rolled back and he's got a tap in.
Well, Hazard, I guess we're into that second minute of added on time here. This ball goes up towards Mike Williamson, and Alan Tinkler just calmly puts that back to Montgomery. Is there a last throw of the dice? As Gateshead under pressure from the back. Montgomery gets it to Story. Story turns. Mulhern was trying to get on top of it, but it gets to Pye. Pye now pings the ball up towards Martin, who will be offside, but the ball is going to fall to Martin now, but he couldn't get it to it.
How? He's ducked so far down there.
He dived down to head that, but it looks as though we're going to be going to penalties, Mark, and it's a lottery from here.
Well, you know, as I say, anything can happen. Farsley have come here, they've been rigid, they've been disciplined and organised. They've frustrated Gateshead. I don't think Gateshead have done enough. You know, as I say, Derny's barely made a save. I can't really remember one.
They haven't made him. They haven't made him scramble. They haven't made him. I mean, the only thing he's done is maybe made a bit of a hash of a shot that he could have got too easy. But he has a goal kick here, free kick here outside his box. Up comes the ball, and it's going to go all the way through to Montgomery.
You know, Monty's made the best save of the game with that brilliant effort from Mulhern.
We're still going. Referee isn't looking at his watch as Williamson carries the ball forward. Tinkler can play it all the way back to Montgomery. And Montgomery now, referee still not looking at his watch. Montgomery carries the ball out. Can he get the ball up? It's going up towards Martin. Martin wins the header. It's going to fall to Ollie Thompson. What can the youngster do? He's on the edge of the box. Lays it off to Conter. Conter trying to get the ball out of his feet. Gets it to Campbell. Campbell has Pye on the overlap. Get the cross in. Here it comes, and it's not the best. And it's at a corner. It's a throw in on the far side. And Gateshead have one last throw of the dice now.
It's going to be a long throw in. Until you get the feeling it's now or never for Gateshead.
Paul Fennick is asking if it goes straight to penalties. It does. That's the FA Trophy this year. That's the rules and regulations. So there is more drama to come unless something can come from this throw-in. Mike Williamson goes up for the header. It's on the ground. It hasn't been cleared yet. Williamson's still got the ball. And how can that be given as a free kick when he had a man all over his back and the ball at his feet? Wow.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I think that will be it now.
Yeah. Well, Rob Elliott remonstrates with the fourth official. I think they're the same facts as what we were just saying there. But it does look like we're going to penalties here at Gateshead International Stadium. And now we await this. Is this the last kick of the game in normal time? It certainly is. And we go to penalties here in the FA Trophy quarterfinals. Drama is upon us. And who will be the hero and who will be the villain? Well, Mulhern takes off his head bandage there as he goes over to the Farsley bench. As players take on water and receive information. There's Ian Watson and Mike Williamson are in deep conversation. I think we'll get things underway pretty quickly here. The referee is standing in the centre circle with his, just marches out the centre circle with his two officials there. Well, we know Montgomery's got a good record with penalties in his time here at Gateshead. Will that continue here this afternoon? One team will progress to the semi-finals. Well, I'll tell you now that in the National League, for scores that concern us, Torquay United are losing 2-1, and it's 1-1 between Yeovil and Chesterfield. In the FA Trophy, I'll just get up the latest scores there, see if any other games are going to penalties. I want to scroll right down on my score app on my phone. It's taken an absolute age. 1 second. We're getting there. Well, in the FA Trophy, it does look like Barnet and Maidstone will be going to penalties as well. York are losing 2-0. They've still got 7 minutes to go there. And FC Halifax are winning 2-0 away to Aldershot. So they're the teams that are through already, it would look like. Unless anything can happen at York. But we are going to be having penalties here. And it is going to be towards the south end of the ground, towards the Felon end here at Gateshead. And we await to see who takes the first one. I think it might be Adam Campbell taking the first penalty, as he takes the walk down towards the goal to our right. And if you're just joining us, it is penalties here to decide who goes through to the FA Trophy semi-final. Gateshead versus Farsley. Goalkeepers receiving their instructions from the officials. Dearney walks back, he's all in maroon. Adam Campbell carries the ball towards the penalty spot.
Just a quick thank you to your crowd this afternoon. That's 1,119 in attendance, including 131 away supporters.
1,119 here to witness this penalty drama, as the ball boys are all in a huddle like the players on the pitch, which is and it's in the back of the net. Emma Campbell steps up, placed it in, calm as you like. Mulhern is going to be coming down now to take the penalty, the first one for Farsley Celtic. Words exchanged between the two players there.
Hello.
Wow. Montgomery, calm as you like, arms behind his back like a naughty schoolboy, walking towards his area. Stands with his black gloves on, making himself big. Mulhern steps up, puts it into the back of the net, straight down the middle. Aaron Martin, the man to take Gateshead's second penalty here. He walks down the long walk from the halfway line.
Felt like a long walk.
It felt incredibly walk. He's there now. The Farsley keeper is in position. Martin just taking his steps back. Comes forward now. Puts it wide. Puts it wide. Aaron Martin lifts his shirt up over his mouth. More out of frustration, I think, than anything else. He looks dejected, but now Scales, I think it is it Scales? Can't see the shirt number. It might be Atkinson. It is, to take the next penalty.
You just got to hit the target. You know, more than anything, just make sure you hit the target. Just try to be too precise, and need Monty here.
Montgomery saves it to his right. Powerful save. It's still level after two penalties each. It's 1-1 on penalties though, the score, and Dan Ward collects the ball to march forward to take his penalty.
It's a brilliant save from Montgomery. It's full length as well. It's not a bad penalty. Probably a good height for him, but he's still got to get something on it. He's got a big hand on it and got it away. Great save.
Good power on that. It was a great save. Well, Dan Ward places the ball down. Takes his run up. And he hits it into the corner of the net.
It's a great penalty. A really good penalty from Dan Ward.
Well,
over to you, Monty.
Bobby Johnson strides forward now for Farsley Celtic. 2-1 at the moment. Gateshead lead after 3 penalties. This is Farsley's third. Takes a short run up. Takes a little step to the side. Drives forward and saved again! Montgomery stands firm. Gateshead can take a 3-1 lead if Louis Story can convert his penalty here. But James Montgomery, he's had his say in this penalty shootout.
Brilliant save again. A good height again, I will say, but he's gone the right way. He's got a big hand on it again. Brilliant from Monty.
Louis Story takes his run up. Converts it! 3-1! And now Farsley have 2 penalties left. They have to score. Otherwise, Gateshead will progress.
I can't remember who it is.
I can't see who it is because the shirt number has no shirt on. It was the one that was changed for. I think it might be. But no, it's not Butler. I can't tell you who it is. But the Farsley player is going to take this penalty. Montgomery again. And it's in the back of the net. It's 3-2. But if Gateshead score this, it's all over. But it's a big if. Camille Conter walks forward. The youngster on loan from Middlesbrough.
If you want a confident lad to go and take a penalty like this, it is Camille Conter. I interviewed him a couple of weeks ago for a piece that's coming out, and I'll tell you what, he's full of confidence. He believes in himself. This is a big chance for him to make himself even more of a hero to these Gateshead fans.
He came a boy. Can he become a hero? Camille Conter, light blue boots, takes a few steps back. He's on the edge of the area, comes forward, drives it into the back of the net, and Gateshead progress into the semi-finals of the FA Trophy. It's a hard-fought game, this one. It went to penalties, but that man, James Montgomery, we said before the penalty shootout, he had a good record with penalties at this football club, and yet again, he was the hero. And what a display he's put on in that net this afternoon.
Yeah, all about James Montgomery, the hero. Camille Conter obviously finishing it off, but Monty, he's a reliable goalkeeper. We keep saying this. Into the semi-finals, Gateshead now 90 minutes away from Wembley. The club that were, and I'm sorry to go back to it, the club that were 3 days away from going under are now 90 minutes away from Wembley. Amazing scenes here. Brilliant to see. It's not been pretty. It's not been a great game, but they're through. There's a chance at Wembley. All on Monday's draw.
Well, if you're like me, my heart's racing at the moment. Wow. Gateshead, it's been a tough couple of weeks. They've had a tough game against FC Halifax through the week, with a few people criticising, a few people unhappy. But they've come into this game, let's tell the truth, underhanded. They've come into this under strength. They've managed to grind it out, and they've managed to progress. It doesn't matter how you do it, but they've done it. But a big credit to Farsley. They didn't look like a team that was near the bottom of the National League North. We wish them all the best in their campaign going forward in the National League North. They've done very well to get this far. But Gateshead, and that man, James Montgomery, he comes over towards the dugout. I think he's going to get a big round of applause when he gets onto that running track there. Story gives him a cuddle. He's full of cheers and smiles. And why not? I said last year at Chorley, cometh the man, cometh the Magne. But today it was cometh the man, cometh the Monty. And there he is. And Camille Conter, the man that put us into the semi-finals. Well done to everybody involved at Gateshead FC. It's been a long, hard season, and to get ourselves to the semi-finals is a good thing. We're not there yet, but the dream is still alive. Mark, thank you very much for being with me this afternoon. Mark's going to get on to write some match reports. Everybody, please do like and subscribe. We'll be here on Thursday on the Heat Army Podcast Live. we'd like you to join us. We'll be talking about this. We'll be talking about the draw Monday afternoon. The TalkSport 2, we'll find out where Gateshead are and who against in the FA Trophy semi-final. That dream of Wembley is still alive, and everybody, thank you very much for tuning in.
Put it all.